Hello and welcome. Today in this brand new episode of this new series called Your Average Player Plays, we are going to take a look at RuneScape, more specifically RuneScape 3, which is the newer, more updated version, and not old school RuneScape, which is another different mode that we'll talk about in maybe another video. We're mainly going to be asking the question of, is RuneScape worth playing in 2025? What's the state of the game like in 2025 coming from your average player, not a hardcore fan? This is a full disclaimer. I'm not a hardcore fan of RuneScape. I have not been playing the game continuously for the last 20 years. I have not been keeping up with the updates, all the decisions developers have made, the community decisions. I have not made any of that. I've not been involved with any of that. I am just a very casual gamer who likes MMORPGs and likes gaming, and I wanted to talk about the game and wanted to kind of give my opinion as an average gamer, so other people can make a more informed decision on whether or not to play the game. Okay, having said that, let's get into this. Okay, RuneScape 3 is a game that has been continuously in development for the past, I want to say, 20 years. It has taken its ups and downs, and to the point where I think, due to some questionable decisions from the developer, it has lost a big chunk of its player base to its sister game, old school RuneScape. We're going to be talking about a bunch of different things today. We're going to be looking at the combat system in RS3 and how it compares to OSRS. We're going to be talking about the player experience, especially as a brand new player. Lastly, we are going to be talking about the main kind of issues that the game is facing and why people are leaving the game, or why was preventing people from getting into the game. Okay, the first and the big one is the combat system in this game and how it compares to old school RuneScape. And yes, this kind of links to my third point of like, what is the biggest problem? This combat system, which is called Evolution of Combat, which came with the big update that turned RuneScape into RuneScape 3, is called Evolution of Combat, and it basically turned RuneScape from a point and click kind of attack video game into more of a kind of WoW system type of gameplay. So this update was actually very negatively received by the community when it launched, and is a big reason why a lot of people decided to jump back to OSRS and not stay in this game anymore. The way it works is you have abilities according to what you want to do. So you have melee, you have the melee abilities. If you are training magic, you have your magic abilities. And if you are training range, I don't have it open right now, but you have your ranged abilities as well. And you assign them here to a hotbar, which has hotkeys on it, and you activate them accordingly. And so the basic skills, the basic abilities, they generate adrenaline, and with adrenaline, then you can activate your threshold abilities, which take off a chunk of the adrenaline, not all of it. However, there are other abilities, I think called ultimate abilities or something like that, where they will deplete your whole bar of adrenaline once full. But those are, of course, even more powerful than your threshold abilities. Now, this combat system is very complicated, especially as a newcomer or a beginner to the series, or even worse, to MMORPGs in general. You will have no idea what is happening. And it goes to such lengths as that people are kind of have tutorials, and I'm not talking about 10-minute or 5-minute video. I'm talking a full 20, 30, maybe even 40-minute tutorial on how to set up your hotbar, your combat bar, to play the game. And I personally think that is absurd. It is insane. I understand where the developers came from to do this. I absolutely get it. Like the point of like, you don't want it to be kind of like a brain dead game where you just kind of click on an opponent and then you're hands off for a good part of like anywhere from a minute to 10 minutes while you defeat an enemy. But at the same time, they kind of took it to the complete opposite end and they made it way too complicated, which ended up killing the game. I think the developers should have found somewhere in the middle, maybe 1 or 2 max 5 abilities at once that you have to kind of manage. But the core system of the game is still should have been a point and click. Now, having said that, if you jump into settings in the game and you go down to combat mode, you can change kind of the combat mode back to the legacy combat mode, which is basically how old school RuneScape's combat mode is. If I click on it here, as you can see, my hotbar is no longer there. It has disappeared. It only shows me my health point, my special attack kind of bar, my prayer points, and what is this? I think that's my familiar spell points. So as you can see, that the hotbar is completely gone, and instead of my abilities, it now shows what it used to show in old school RuneScape, which is my attack, strength, and defense combat mode, which each trains each skill accordingly. Now, that is great that the developers went, you know what, maybe this is too complicated, people want to play it the old way, they have a way to play it. However, I don't think this is viable, and I could be wrong here, but because in late game content, when you're fighting the bosses or you go into dungeons, you're just simply not DPSing as much as you could, or you're not optimizing your kind of combat ability as much as you could, because this game relies heavily on those abilities being activated and comboing them. So that is point number one. I know I dragged this on for a lot, and I really hope I am wrong. I really hope I am wrong, and I really hope this legacy combat mode is actually viable and you can use it just as much. Anyways, that is my rant for the first part. Now we're going to talk about overall playability and player experience. Now, anyways, talking about playability of the game, how playable is it? When you hop into the game as a new character, you will be taken to Tutorial Island. Tutorial Island is a very simple tutorial. I think it takes grand part of maybe 2 to 10 minutes, depending on how long you take to complete the tutorial, and it throws you into the game, but actually gives you a lot of relevant information. Actually, prior to making this video, I made a new character and went through the Tutorial Island, and I personally think it does a great job at onboarding players into the game. Not just that, but actually once you're out of the Tutorial Island, it brings you to this town. This usually looks a little bit more different because at the moment we have the Halloween event, but it brings you to Burthorpe, which is the starting area for all new players. And personally, I think the playability is great for brand new players. Everything is here. You have one quest line at the very, very beginning, which takes you through how to level up mining, how to smith, how to make your weapons, how to make your armor, how to use the banking system.
A few moments later,
it walks you through all those systems, and I think that is absolutely amazing by the developers. That's one thing I really love about the game. It really does make things very, very easy to understand and very easy to follow. And therefore, I think that playability in that sense from RuneScape 3 is absolutely brilliant. Now, in terms of the actual playing experience, I really enjoy it. Now, having said that, I do think that the game at the moment, I mean, it's kind of inevitable, but it's simply a game that has too much going on. It is a game that has had 20 years of development, so of course it's going to have too much going on. But if you look at the UI, and I've simplified mine massively, the UI is very cluttered, it is very complicated. You have stuff like this, which brings you into the treasure hunter, which actually we will talk about later.
Oh, scary! Oh, shiver my timbers! Shut up, man!
You have events happening like this, which gives you items at the moment. You have all these menus down at the bottom on the bottom right, which bring up different things. The settings alone is so incredibly complicated. Every setting has sub-menus. And don't get me wrong, it's great that you have so much customization to your gameplay. Once you get to the higher levels, it almost seems like everyone is playing a completely different game. That is the only downside I will say about the gameplay of this game. But that also could be seen as a good thing by a lot of other people. And that is simply by the fact that you can play this game however you want. You want to do it as an AFK mindless thing where you just chop down some trees while you watch some videos, Absolutely, you can do that. You want to be more hands-on and kind of have your full attention while you do quests. Also, absolutely, you can do that. You have a full list of quests down here on the bottom left that you can see.
Nice.
All of these are quests, and some of them towards the bottom here, they get so incredibly long that you're never gonna get bored of content. They are releasing new events, new quests, new items, new bosses, new dungeons, whatever, all the time into the game. So that is something you will never have to worry about. You will never have to worry about running out of content. Another thing I really love about the game is how simple they've made the starting process. This tool belt that you see on the screen that I have right now is honestly absolutely amazing. I think this is something that OSRS could benefit from massively. I get why they don't have it over there, and I have a feeling it's never going to get implemented over there for valid reasons. But RS3 basically implemented this tool belt system, which instead of you having to go out and get every single tool out there and then them taking up a space in your inventory, you simply have a tool belt that you have on you at all times that has all your basic tools. You have your pickaxes, your hatchets, hammers, chisels, knives, tinderboxes, yada, 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 yada. So instead of having to worry about, oh no, I need to go back to the bank clerk to get my tool to train up this skill, you don't have to worry about that. You can just go out and train that skill without having to do 2,000 trips back and forth between you and the bank. So in that sense, I do think that this is an absolute great addition. It really, really helps onboard the newer players. A lot of people might not agree with that. A lot of people might think that actually that is not the case. The fact that the players didn't have to go through a whole quest, a whole part of a quest to just attain, say, the hammer, for example, to be able to craft stuff. But yeah, I personally think it is absolutely great. The playability of the game, I will probably give it a 9 out of 10. Is a very, very, very fun to play game, especially with, depending on the person, the graphics and the systems and everything that you have so far. Even more so if you set the game to Iron Man. If you don't want to be, bombarded with all these microtransactions and have all these problems and feel like your progress is invalidated because people can just buy XP, playing as an Iron Man would get rid of all those problems, and it makes playing the game actually enjoyable. I'm not saying playing the game isn't enjoyable, but it makes it 10 times better. Anyways, that is enough about my rant on playability and state of the game. Now let's move on to the many issues the game has. Personally, I think there are two big issues in the game. And those are those two, or those plus the combat system, 3. But those issues are what's stopping a lot of people from coming back into the game, as was making a lot of hardcore RuneScape fans refuse to touch this version of the game. And to put it quite bluntly, it's basically cosmetics kill the game and pay to win. It's as simple as that. And to prove that, I'm actually going to go to...
A few moments later.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Varric. I'm going to go to the Grand Exchange, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. Now, as I showed you earlier, the game has a treasure hunter system now. That is a system in the game, which is this one. Up here, and you see the keys and whatnot, which lets you buy keys. Now, by buying keys, what does it give you? It gives you a bunch of rewards. Mainly, it gives you all these harvest rewards with... I don't really know what these things are called, but basically, they are shortcuts to leveling up. And I'm not just talking about, cutting down your leveling from 100 hours down to maybe 90 hours. No. I'm talking about going from level 1 in, say, fletching or crafting to immediately jumping to level 30 in the span of 5 minutes by just spam buying keys. Anyways, I'm going to get more into it. These keys, you get... The main thing is 2 things. You get bonus XP, or you straight up get XP lamps. XP lamps are lamps that you can rub, and you can choose which skill you want to allocate that XP that you get out of the lamp 2. So if I open up a lamp and I don't know, it has 5,000 XP points in there, and I want to put it into my archery skill down here, you can see that I have 400 XP points left until I level up to the next one. This immediately killed the game and made a lot of people not want to play the game anymore, because that sense of progression, that sense of accomplishment vanished instantly from day to night, just from people being able to buy XP points. And not only that, it gives you these things. For example, a portable Fletcher or a portable workbench that people put down in here. So this is one of those that you can put down anywhere, and that's what happened a lot. This game, when I came back onto it 2 years ago, what I saw was this place was completely crowded, and there were about, I don't know, 10, 20 people training skills at the Grand Exchange, and that is just simply something that you should not be able to do. You should not be able to plop down a training dummy and train your combat experience at the Grand Exchange to level, well, I think 99 is the cap. I don't know if they capped it to 120 now. That is one of the biggest game killers, no matter of what game out there. If you can pay to progress, people will not want to play this game, because A, they will get bored once they get there, and B, you are simply nullifying that satisfaction, that experience of progressing through the game to get to that point. Now, kind of going hand in hand with that is the cosmetic system in this game. For those of you who don't know, in RuneScape, armor sets, especially the more later on, the more endgame armor sets, are a lot harder to come across. They are rarer, they are more grindy to get, and therefore being able to actually wear them and display them to a lot of people is a massive accomplishment. Another thing is these completionist capes. So if you level up one of your skills to max level, whether it be level 99 or 120, you get a cape with the kind of logo of that skill on it to display that you have fully leveled up that skill up to the max, which takes a lot of effort, a lot of commitment, and a lot of hours in this game. Now, not only does pay to win get rid of that satisfaction, but also the cosmetic system in this game completely kills that. So if I have, say, a cosmetic set, I'm going to go and choose this one. If I buy this one from the shop and I put this cosmetic set on, it will override whatever it is that I'm wearing at the moment. So, for example, if I buy it now, my adamant full armor will be replaced by this armor, whether that be my cape or the armor. Everything will be overridden, and because of that, it basically gets rid of the whole showcasing your achievement kind of feeling in this game, because you can just, people are so obsessed with looking good, people walking around, everyone has wings and whatnot, to the point where what gear you gain from the endgame dungeon doesn't matter anymore. What completionist cape you manage to get doesn't matter anymore, because it's not being displayed. So yeah, I think the game definitely the developers took a few wrong turns in the development of the game. I don't think they were bad decisions per se. It was just maybe not implemented in the best way. Sorry. I understand the developers need to make money, because at the end of the day, everything is about money, especially when it comes to corporations. And so the developers were probably pressured to find a way to make money. And so microtransactions came into the game. However, one thing I do not think they should have done was make microtransactions the pay to win type. Cosmetics here and there, yes, that is okay, it's fine. You can turn the game into Fortnite, whatever. But pay to win just simply absolutely killed the game. It makes people not want to come back. It makes people think grinding this game is worthless. It just simply is something that people do not like and will not condone in a game such as RuneScape, where grinding things is, you know, the whole point of the game is to put in hours and hours and hours into grinding out an ability. You know, some rich kid that has daddy's credit card can just level it up to the same level as, you know, say another player who has put in almost 1,000 hours. I'm sorry it went so negative towards the end, but to answer the final question of should you come back to the game, or should you play the game as a new player in late 2025? I think yes is the short answer. The longer answer is yes, but do it in Iron Man mode. Give yourself more of a challenge. So you can't, you know, use microtransactions to level up. You can't be using other people's portable skilling hubs and whatnot to level up. You have to source everything yourself. You can't use the grand exchange to buy a stuff and all that kind of, you know, all that kind of stuff. Give yourself a challenge and actually play the game. If you do that, it is actually a very, very enjoyable game. Again, as I said, the colors are really vibrant. I really like the design of the game. I like, in some senses, the simplicity of the game. Yeah, it is a very, very fun game to play. It really, once you immerse yourself, it really does give you that kind of, you're running your own adventure type of game where you can go questing, you can go skilling, you can join guilds and you know, for like play with your friends, you can go event play, like all sorts of things. Any way you could think of playing the game, you can. So having said that, should you play the game in 2025? Yes, I think it's worth playing, especially because it is free. You don't have to pay anything to play the game. However, as I said, there are all those issues that I've mentioned, which potentially, you know, could be a deal breaker to many of you out there. Anyways, thank you for listening to my rant and you know, being here and watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, you know, a thumbs up and a subscribe will help me out a massive amount, just because I'm in the early stages of starting my channel. It will help me massively to kind of push out my content, and those improvements will eventually help me make better content for you guys. So shameless plug. But no, if you didn't enjoy the video, please let me know why. Try and give me like constructive criticism. If you disagreed with some of the points I made, if I was just straight up wrong with a lot of things I said, any of those things. If you did like it, write down in the comments. Did this make you play RuneScape? Have you played RuneScape in the past? Have you been playing it this whole time? What do you think of the game? Anything that can help out a new player, for example, any of those down in the comments. And maybe any suggestions for future videos also, I will take those into account as well. Because at the end of the day, I'm making this channel for you guys. So yeah, that would help me out massively. Last thing I would like to say, I do stream most nights on Twitch. I do sometimes do it on YouTube as well, but mostly on Twitch. I will leave my Twitch handle either on screen here or down in the description of the video. Yeah, if you ever just feel like you just want to come in for a chat about anything, any videos I've made, or just anything in general, pop in, say hi. I'm not gonna bite. But anyways, thank you guys, and I really hope you enjoyed this first episode of Your Average Gamer Plays. Let me know what game you would like to see next. See you next time.